Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kellen Cash here. Gotcha. While doing some work on the computer, put the camera a little high, but want to talk about Kenya and how awesome that trip was. While the music is going and flowing, um, Kenya was awesome. If you don't know, about a year ago, found a great company, travel company, to do something that we did in government contracting that actually did not pan out all the way. Because, as you know, in government contracting, it can come and it can go, but the work can still get done. And sometimes you are left hanging out to dry depending on how your deal was. But found a travel company to take an influencer and 30 of their followers to Kenya for the first time, which was a great thing. And everything was so smooth. Lives were changed. You know, you could see when people came. I don't want to give the full details. You can catch those type of things on the podcast on diversifiedgame.com or on my personal podcast when I'm doing my venting hour, the work break conversations. All are on Spotify and every other place that you can see. But Kenya was awesome. Lives were changed. You could see this the growth. It was a quick 8 days in Africa. Anybody who knows Africa knows you at least need to do a month to really soak it in. But people have to get back to work, and we have to understand that and respect that. And it was a beautiful time. I'm just talking about from Nairobi to Mombasa. Shout out to everybody who made the time so much easier. Big shout out to African Tigress. Oh man, she just hooked so many things up. We were able to see Kibera, which is they call the slum, the largest slum in Kenya. Because some people will say, "Hey, you calling that place a slum?" That's what they call it. Just like we call our stuff hoods out here. Got to see Mombasa. Everything was smooth out there. And you got to see a lot about how people work and how they think, whatnot. Which why I am calling this, like, I have my PR series that I'll do here and there to give the game, but also how, as a consultant, people always want to know, how can you do this? How can you do that? I want to do this as how do you even become a consultant? And to become a consultant, I don't think there's any clear path. I know there's a lot of people who want to sell you something to become a consultant, but they cannot find you those people who are going to be long term, that are going to stay on your side. Um, so I'm putting, as I'm talking, I'm seeing the live, and I'm also gonna push this out because this is all just kind of just impromptu stuff that I do. Uh, you know, and when as a career, yeah, you guys be patient. The game will come. The game will come. So done with that. But as a consultant, nobody can tell you how you become consultant. You have so many life experiences, so many opportunities in life where at some point you say, you know what, I can do this personally. I have enough insight in this field to be able to guide somebody who does not. Maybe they have not studied the same thing, gone to the same school, read the same books, but in business, there are certain things. There's a language in business, like there's a language in software, like there's a language in music. You have to be able to read the notes to be able to go to the next level. If not, people will see that you are not as knowledgeable, and they'll take advantage of that all day. And so, as a consultant, and depending on what type of consulting that you're doing, you have to be knowledgeable in certain things, and you have to make sure that your client does not get taken advantage of. I was doing that even for someone who wasn't a client, but it was an issue that had to get issued, and to smooth things over. Sometimes you need to talk. And this particular person was a medical doctor and a dermatologist at that. And we got through all the nonsense that had happened, whatever, because nonsense is going to happen. That's fine. But he was talking about a business investment, and he was saying how they were going to charge 89,000 for this place in Africa, and how the rent was $400. And I had told him that, well, just off the top, I said take you like 18 years to just break even. And we had another gentleman that I really liked, and the doctor's doing the math on his calculator. He's like, "Wow, you did that in your head?" I said, "Yeah." And to me, I mean, 18-year investment on a place that you're not going to live in, you didn't particularly fall in love with, doesn't make sense to me. And that's consulting even when you're not getting paid. I mean, sometimes you just cannot turn this stuff off when it is in you and not just on you for a check. It is amazing the things that you just come up with. And I say money math is the only math I can do, and I can do it real fast in my head. And I wasn't trying to be impressive. I was just, thinking out loud. And people, they respect that when they see you couldn't get over on me on any money. We study money. We study opportunities. We study how to make something happen. There's a lot of people who think that they have a better way. I welcome them to try their way, and let's see if that way can get you the same results. And it's not a competition, because I'm going to get paid to do that, and you are going to be able to show out and maybe burn yourself. So there is no competition in consulting. You know what you know, and trust me, there's so many books on it that so many people have not read the same books that you've read. Everyone's read the Rich Dad Poor Dad, the Seth Godwins, the Tim Ferrisses. So you think, and still until you start talking and you're like, wait, people really aren't reading enough, and they're not reading the right things. I mean, they're stuck in these books that have them entertained or mad or angry or whatever, but they're not reading enough. So how to become a consultant: study, study, study. And I even remember when I had my trucking business, it was like I was consulting for even other truck drivers. Not that I knew the business, but I knew some things that they did not know. They can show me how to clean a truck, how to the motor, the engine. I mean, we have cars, so you kind of know some of that stuff. How to put the when you rack the slide and you're doing like that. That can be taught in a session. But there are certain things in business that take time, and you have to be able to prove it, because you can say one thing, but you also have to be able to come through. And if you're not able to come through, then you're going to be a consultant that has no clients, has a bad reputation. Even I find that the way I wear my hair right now, I got this done in Kenya. Shout out to Fiona who hooked it up, and got my babies a gift and my wife a gift, which they loved. Um, the way you wear your hair. Nobody cares the way you wear your hair if you can make them some money or save them some money or you save a problem. I'm talking about at least the people that I want to work with. I go into government meetings, I can go like this, or I can go crazy with the sponge brush. Nobody cares. When people say, oh, the way you perform based on your looks, that's to shallow people. But some of the smartest people that they do what they do. They rock what they rock, and don't and that used to not throw me off, because I'm gonna do me. But that used to have me be like, man, should I put my image? Should it be the Ferragamos, or should it be these shoes? If anyone's looking that hard at you, they're not looking too deep. It's like I can only put this image. It's like if you are looking for a date and all you see is the physical and you see nothing else, you are looking for the wrong thing. And it's probably why you are single. Not to say you're lonely, but it's probably why you don't do well with relationships, business and personal. Um, it's probably why you might be angry. Sometimes I see so many people have issues with, relationships and people that aren't even married. Like, if you're gonna have an issue in a relationship with someone, let that person be married. Let you have a long term commitment. But for that short term stuff, No one has time for that. So consultants get paid. And that's the biggest thing where you can't turn this off. Sometimes people think that because you're giving them advice that you want to go down a certain road with them. A consultant is not always your publicist, but they can have those duties. A consultant is not your manager, but they can have those duties if you're paying for them. A consultant is not your business partner, but those opportunities could come if the consultant agrees and you have the funds and they believe in the idea to go further than the first phase, second phase, third phase. Because there's some things that I want to get in right now, and they will just help the business with money. And there's some things that I am going to run away from that I'm offered because I don't want to go down that journey. Like, I want to see your numbers, see your books. I want to see what you've done right, what you've done wrong, but also I want to see your user interface. And if that's not right, I can't go down that journey with you because I'm not a venture vulture. I'm not a venture capitalist. I'm not an angel investor. I am just simply a business person looking for business opportunities with like-minded people, and it's not in a I'm not in a box. Can't put me in a box. Even in death, I tell people, don't put me in a box. Cremate me, spread me around, let my ashes be free. You dig? So, if consulting is right for you, have various skills, be likable to many of people. If there's certain people that you don't like, that's a personal issue. But you have to be all things to all people. You have to be able to be, I don't want to say a chameleon because it's not being a chameleon. It's just that you can speak about various things. Like a consultant who isn't well traveled, to me, isn't somebody that we would hire. A consultant, yeah, you really need that if you don't have international experience, because I can see right off the bat when people don't. And usually, if you don't have that international experience, we're doing international business and you need to know some things and be able to talk on some things. You at least need to be well read. Doesn't mean you have to read the same things I read. Actually, you could read the opposite because there's certain things that I read that I dread through getting. And then there's some things that are so quick that I finish in 2 days. Currently, I'm reading Snowden's book. And, it started off good, has its slow parts because I'm not really so interested in his life more than his cause, whatnot, which he says is for the people. Got this little Kenya thing I'm playing with. I loved Kenya. Loved Kenya. Especially Mombasa. Nairobi, I probably did the most because I had African tigers out there. But Mombasa by the beach is my area. So yeah, so that's that. A little short commercial for Kenya. But consulting, there's some jobs that I'd run to, and there's some jobs I'd run from, no matter what the money is, because there is the connection part, the glue. They back in the day would say, "Kellen, you're the plug." Okay, I'm the plug, but I'm the glue too, because I can see things in various angles, and sometimes, especially when people are doing new stuff, you can't always see like how that can impact and affect the other business negatively, or how you could take advantage of another business when you didn't have to. Like, there's a virgin business mind that thinks, oh, we could save some money if we do this. And then there is a business mind that's been on both sides and say, you know what, you could maybe save, you know, $200, $400, maybe even 1,000, but you're not making for a good work relationship. It's going to be strife because you're getting over, and this person who might already be giving you a discount on the service is going to be pissed off. So next time that something happens, now you're going to be paying actually more because you saved and gypped them on this. So as a consultant, you have to be able to see it from both sides and do fair business, and just know when to walk away. Like if you know when to walk away, you are going to be a great consultant because people will just throw things, especially when you've proven you can do certain things. People are going to just throw things your way, and you cannot take everything, and you cannot take everybody because everybody will bog you down. I get stuff. Sometimes I get stuff and people are literally throwing it at my feet. Like we've had a conversation about this and that we were going to do something that we never signed up to do just because we were interested and talked about it. But let me be very clear for everyone. If I'm not getting paid and I don't offer you something, I'm not going down a certain journey. Payment is what companies need. The same way you need it at your job and this and that. I like to hear the stories. Also, because I'm a writer, I get inspired by certain things, and I'll listen to you. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to go down every business journey with you. And just because you're making money at something, this is where it really gets tricky. Someone says, "Hey, I'm making good money. I want you to be a part of this," and it's like, "Yo, I don't want to go down that journey." What do you mean? There's great money in it. You don't have to do much. It's not about not doing much. It's about doing your purpose. And if I'm not doing my purpose, I don't want to do it. And people don't, they take that however, and then it sometimes can sound like, oh, this guy thinks he's too busy, too good, too rich, too this. It's none of that. It's just, I don't want to do it. I want to do what I want to do as much as you want to do what you want to do. And multi-level marketing cats really get this twisted. I don't have to want to do exactly what you do. But it's not just the multi-level marketing, but people will put a brand new, truck in your thing and say, "Hey, you said you were in trucking. Let's go do something." Get that truck out of my driveway. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that road with you. It may not even mean anything about you. It may just be I'm trying to focus on something else. Let me tell you what I am focused on and what I am looking for. If you are heavy into real estate, looking at some international opportunities on real estate in Africa, um, big lands and small, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to be looking for a attorney on this side and in Kenya that can really do some good work for those who want to invest. I've been shying away from a certain project because it's going to be a ton of work, ton of headache. I don't necessarily want to deal with the headache, but I see with the PTSD that people gather here in America, it's needed because people need peace. They need to be in a place where they can relax, chill, pop a collar or two, and be able to really think. And so this opportunity, we're going to need a whole team, from real estate agents to lawyers to whatnot. So if you see this and that interests you, you let me know. We'll make something happen, Captain. And, you know, we'll see what we can do, what the margins are. Real estate, it's looking like, I mean, people can get acres for so less, but there's going to be processing fees and so many different things, but it's still going to be cheaper than you can buy an acre most anywhere here. And I want to focus on city, beach, and new developments. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it quite, I believe, silently, because there's only so much opportunity and so many people you can deal with, and there's going to all be, there could be little hiccups here and there, and just understanding that how we do real estate here isn't how they do it there, and just the different terms. But we want to walk through for those who are serious about that. and ready to make that step. See, you could have the buddy, you could have the passion, but you actually have to be ready because in life, people will say, "Oh, my kids are still in school, they're little, this, that, the third." I get it. You got to be ready. Me, I don't care anything about a school. I will homeschool today. I already have every type of programming for that. Um, I will hire a teacher today to teach my kids for 4 hours out of the day, 'cause that's all they really need. It says Sweden, and then go from there. But you really get in the game, and I'm not letting certain things hold me back. There are some specialty schools though. I get it, where parents have their kids in, and those things are a blessing when you live in those areas and you can get your kids in those, and you can afford it, because some of them are expensive and some of them are cheap. But oh man, there's some real good specialty schools out there, arts and cultural type schools, where kids can learn the language or feel comfortable. So I wanted to give this little tidbit, this game. Feel free to not just like this, but to share it, because somebody needs this. They need to hear this hope. That's what we all are, hope dealers. We don't have that negativity. Anything negative can be turned around. It's just how you look at it. It's about perspective. And usually, if it's about extreme ownership, you should read that book. And you can turn the negative, and just it's cliche, but you can really turn it into a positive if you have the right mentality, and you really want to push. Of course, you want to book some time, get your ideas off the ground, get them done. Don't have them on the shelf. That description for cprfirm.as.me is there. You can also book me all through the Acuity button on the book me. So, we're gonna rock like that. Keep pushing. It's sunny in Seattle, so I'm gonna try to soak up a little of the sun with the cold. Um, Florida, you already know. We're doing business all day. You need me in Florida, I'm there. Relocation plans all day to Florida. I cannot wait. You guys are waiting for the election. I'm waiting for relocation, because elections don't move anything in business. The powers that be are going to do what the powers that be do, and that is, tell us what to do, what we need to be doing, and how much they're going to tax us. So y'all be blessed. Keep pushing. Remember, with unity we all win, and you need a team. You dig?